The title of wrong to try to pick up girls in a dungeon? Or Danmachi. For short. It is quite a complicated name. But it's a decent series and many like it. In the city of Arario, there's a vast labyrinth underground. It's simply called the dungeon. From all around the world, this dungeon attracts adventurers that hope to one day defeat it. Hopes of overwhelming power, treasures, and love awaits. Gods and goddesses even built guilds to accommodate adventurers. One such guild belongs to Hestia. Her only member is a newbie adventurer named Bel Cranel. Together, Bel Cranel and Hestia work to achieve their dreams. One wants to become the best adventurer and conquer the dungeon, while the other wants to breathe life to a guild that'll gain worthy followers and precious members. That's Danmachi in a nutshell. As I've said, this series is pretty decent and interesting. As much as I personally like it, I would like to showcase the anime like Danmachi to provide more choices of must-watch shows and whatnot. Here they come. The shows similar to this one are coming in droves. It is said that every few years, there is what's known as the Summer of Anu. During that summer, thanks to the divine protection of the sky god Anu, all of the demons in the tower lose their power. The country of Uruk has begun an invasion of the tower in order to suppress the demons. They've built up positions inside the tower, with their sights set on getting to the upper levels. The Uruk army knows that this is the third Summer of Anu, a perfect time to launch a mission to suppress the monster Druaga once and for all. The army soldiers aren't the only ones in the tower, though. An Enitor city called Meskia has formed inside the tower's first floor. It plays host not just to soldiers, but also to adventurers who have heard rumors about a legendary treasure called the Blue Crystal Rock, which is said to rest at the very top of the tower. With all these different groups in the mix, each with its own agenda, one can only guess how things will play out during this unusual summer. Dispersed around the world, there are several bizarre labyrinths hiding incredible treasures within them. These mysterious places, known as dungeons, are said to be the work of Magi, a class of rare magicians, who also help people build their empires by guiding them to a dungeon. Jinns, supernatural beings that rule over the labyrinths, grant successful conquerors access to their immense power and choose them as potential king candidates to rule the world. Having spent life in isolation, Aladdin, a kind and young magician, is eager to explore the world upon finally leaving his home behind. He begins his journey only accompanied by his mentor Hugo, a jinn that Aladdin can summon with his flute. However, Aladdin soon becomes friends with the courageous Alibaba Saluja after causing the destruction of a local merchant's supply cart. In order to pay for the damages, Alibaba suggests that they attempt to conquer the nearest dungeon, taking the first step in an epic adventure that will decide the fate of the world itself. Louise Françoise Leblanc de la Valliere is a self-absorbed mage in a world of wands, cloaks, and royalty. Although she studies at Tristan Academy, a prestigious school for magicians, she has a major problem. Louise is unable to cast magic properly, earning her the nickname of Louise the Zero from her classmates. When the first-year students are required to perform a summoning ritual, Louise's summoning results in a catastrophic explosion. Everyone deems this to be yet another failure, but when the smoke clears, a boy named Saito Hiraga appears. Now Louise is familiar, Saito is treated as a slave, forced to clean her clothes and eat off the ground. But when an unfamiliar brand is found etched on Sato's hand from the summoning ritual, it is believed to be the mark of a powerful familiar named Gandalf. Wild, adventurous, and explosive, Zero-Note Tsukaima follows Sato as he comes to terms with his new life, and as Louise proves that there is more to her than her nickname suggests. The final hour of the popular virtual reality game Yggdrasil has come. However, Momonga, a powerful wizard and master of the Dark Gildane Zool Gown, decides to spend his last few moments in the game as the servers begin to shut down. To his surprise, despite the clock having struck midnight, Momonga is still fully conscious as his character, and, moreover, the non-player characters appear to have developed personalities of their own. Confronted with this abnormal situation, Momonga commands his loyal servants to help him investigate and take control of this new world, with the hopes of figuring out what has caused this development and if there may be others in the same predicament. No Game No Life is a surreal comedy that follows Sora and Shiro, shut-in neat siblings, and the online gamer duo behind the legendary username Blank. They view the real world as just another lousy game. However, a strange email challenging them to a chess match changes everything. The brother and sister are plunged into an otherworldly realm where they meet Tet, the god of games. The mysterious god welcomes Sora and Shiro to Discord, a world where all forms of conflict from petty squabbles to the fate of whole countries are settled not through war, but by way of high-stake games. This system works thanks to a fundamental rule wherein each party must wager something they deem to be of equal value to the other party's wager. In this strange land where the very idea of humanity is reduced to child's play, the indifferent genius gamer duo of Sora and Shiro have finally found a real reason to keep playing games. To unite the 16 races of Discord, defeat Tet, and become the gods of this new gaming is everything world. Shinichi Kanu is a shut-in otaku with a vast knowledge of anime, manga, and video games. One day, after applying for a job in hopes of escaping his secluded lifestyle, he is kidnapped and transported to the Eldent Empire, a fantasy world filled with elves, dragons, and dwarves. Trapped in this strange land, Shinichi is given an unlikely task by the Japanese government to spread otaku culture across the realm by becoming an otaku missionary. To accomplish his mission, Shinichi has the full support of the Japanese government, as well as the half-elf maid Mayasol and Princess Petralka of the Eldent Empire. Together with this ragtag bunch, he will overcome the obstacles of politics, social classes, and ethnic discrimination to promote the ways of the otaku in this holy land. In the blink of an eye, 30,000 bewildered Japanese gamers are whisked from their everyday lives into the world of the popular MMORPG, Elder Tale, after the game's latest update. Unable to log out. Among them is the socially awkward college student Shiro, whose confusion and shock lasts only a moment. As a veteran of the game, he immediately sets out to explore the limits of his new reality. Shiro must learn to live in this new world, leading others and negotiating with the NPC natives in order to bring stability to the virtual city of Akihabara. He is joined by his unfortunate friend Natsuki, having logged in for the first time in years, only to find himself trapped, and Akatsuki, a petite but fierce assassin who labeled Shiro as her master. A tale of fantasy, adventure, and politics, Log Horizon explores the elements of gaming through the eyes of a master strategist who attempts to make the best of a puzzling situation. Fear, survival, instinct. Thrown into a foreign land with nothing but hazy memories and the knowledge of their name, they can feel only these three emotions resonating deep within their souls. A group of strangers is given no other choice than to accept the only paying job in this game-like world, the role of a soldier in the reserve army, and eliminate anything that threatens the peace in their new world, Grimgar. When all of the stronger candidates join together, those left behind must create a party together to survive. Minato, a charismatic leader and priest, Harahiro, a nervous thief, Yun, a cheerful hunter, Shiharu, a shy mage, Mogzo, a kind warrior, and Ranta, a rowdy dark knight. Despite its resemblance to one, this is no game. There are no redos or respawns. It is kill or be killed. It is now up to this ragtag group of unlikely fighters to survive together in a world where life and death are separated only by a fine line. In the year 2022, virtual reality has progressed by leaps and bounds, and a massive online role-playing game called Sword Art Online (SAO) is launched. With the aid of nerve gear technology, players can control their avatars within the game, using nothing but their own thoughts. Kazuto Kirigaya, nicknamed Kirito, is among the lucky few enthusiasts who get their hands on the first shipment of the game. He logs in to find himself, with 10,000 others, in the scenic and elaborate world of Anchorage, one full of fantastic medieval weapons and gruesome monsters. However, in a cruel turn of events, the players soon realize they cannot log out. The game's creator has trapped them in his new world until they complete all 100 levels of the game. In order to escape Anchorage, Kirito will now have to interact and cooperate with his fellow players. Some are allies, while others are foes, like Asuna Yuki, who commands the leading group attempting to escape from the ruthless game. To make matters worse, Sword Art Online is not all fun and games. If they die in Anchorage, they die in real life. Kirito must adapt to his new reality, fight for his survival, and hopefully break free from his virtual hell. After dying a laughable and pathetic death on his way back from buying a game, high school student and recluse Kazuma Satu finds himself sitting before a beautiful but obnoxious goddess named Aqua. She provides the NEET with two options. Continue on to heaven or reincarnate in every gamer's dream, a real fantasy world. Choosing to start a new life, Kazuma is quickly tasked with defeating a demon king who is terrorizing villages. But before he goes, he can choose one item of any kind to aid him in his quest, and the future hero selects Aqua. But Kazuma has made a grave mistake. Aqua is completely useless. Unfortunately, their troubles don't end here. It turns out that living in such a world is far different from how it plays out in a game. Instead of going on a thrilling adventure, the duo must first work to pay for their living expenses. Indeed, their misfortunes have only just begun. So what do you think of this list then? Their name and which is your favorite Danmachi like anime? Comment below and let us know. Don't forget to leave a like if you enjoyed the video. Subscribe if you want to see more anime related content.